They say it's difficult to beat a team 3 times in a season, but in order to win the district finals and keep their season alive, that's exactly what Waite had to do. Hi and welcome into another edition of BCSN Classics. I'm Alex Wilcox. The 2010 Indians had starts number all season long, winning both prior contests. But it was that third matchup that looms the largest, with the district title on the line. Just the year prior, the Spartans had gone 3 for 3 against Waite as they made it all the way to the state championship game. But in Natasha Howard's senior year, it was time for the Indians to return the favor. Bill Clark and Deion Thompson have the call from the Hive in Perrysburg.
Well, we are ready to rock and roll. A trip to the regional on the line, and the Waite Lady Indians in the home white jerseys against the dark dirty Start Lady Spartans control the tap.
Well, you know, Bill, I had a chance to watch, like I said, the last start game, and what they really did a good job of putting Blackman. Blackman puts a body on Howard. She plays her very physical, and that's what they seem to be employing that same strategy tonight.
Right now, Waite being very patient. Nice give and go right there. Shanice McNeil can't get it down, and there's Miss Bishop with her first rebound of the ball game. Nice drive by Kennard, but that's knocked away, so the Start Lady Spartans will inbound it under their own basket.
Well, that's a good sign if you're Start. I think what Kennard has realized is she's not just a jump shooter. She's trying to get things going when that jump shot's not going, which was evidenced by that last drive.
There's Howard with the swat on Bishop. And here comes Natasha. She'll run the break to the window, and she'll stick it up. Coast to coast, that is an amazing weapon right there for the Florida State-bound senior, and we got a foul on Brooke Hunt.
You know what, though, on that last drive, Start, what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to stop her at around the three-point line. You know, let's take a look here. See, nobody identified the ball and stopped the basketball. You have to stop the ball early. If she gets looks like that, it's going to be a long night.
Well, obviously, the key, I would think, if you're Start, is to keep the ball out of her hands, and if you don't stop her in the fast break, that's not good.
I feel like every time we play against Start, it's going to always be a good game, no matter what. I feel like, yeah, there was a rivalry. Like, I felt like, to be honest, they were a rivalry. To be honest, we felt that hurt from 2009 when we lost against them 3 times in a row. Like, we felt that. And when 2010 came around, like we made sure that we were going to not have that same mistake that we had in 2009, losing against them back to back. So yeah, it was kind of like a revenge thing a little bit.
Toledo Public Schools in this predicament. You know, I mean, I was listening to Bill, not Bill, you're right next to me. I was listening to George last night, George Strack, and they were talking about, you know, how they're going to talk about, you know, cutting out the programs. This would be horrible if this happened, because there's so many great kids that just came out of Toledo Public along the years, me being one of them. So but I just think it's just a good thing, you know. You cut out athletics, what they have to do. It's a great game.
Well, it's going to be some tough choices to be made. There's no doubt about that, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. Here's the freshman Sweeney to the window. Can't get it to go. Blackman, a tough rebound on the other side. She's double blocked down low by McNeil and Howard. They battle for the ball. Bishop with good hands.
Well, you know what? I see already. Start, they're playing physical. They're not afraid to match the physicality. Oh.
Well, that's a tough call right there. Asia Bishop's going to pick up the foul as she went over the back of Shanice McNeil, and we always say you should not be penalized for being tall.
Right, Bill, that's your theory. Look at that. That's not a foul. But, you know, like we said, the first couple games, now Start, they're matching that intensity. I'm talking about going for loose balls and playing physical. Here's Jamie Jackson.
Jackson, the sophomore, to the window. She'll get it to go and get the foul. The and one from the sophomore, and she played amazingly well as a freshman, Deion, and she has picked it up ever since the season started.
I'm going to tell you, you talk to college coaches about her. She's one of those people who are flying under the radar for reasons I don't know why, but trust me, she is a player.
Well, I got a feeling there's some college coaches that have her on their radar, because she has been quite a player for Bob Brown since she walked on campus last year. Can't finish on the three-point play, and it's a 4-2 lead. And here you go again, Deion. Nobody stops Natasha Howard, and she takes it to the window for her 4th point.
Well, did you see that was with the left hand this time? But, hey, nice steal by Hunt right there.
Here's Haynes to the window. She'll crawl it in. This is where Start gets into some trouble, and Bob Brown calls a quick timeout, a 30-second timeout. He's not happy with the way his team's trying to break this press, and this is what Waite will do. They will just kind of lull you to sleep, and then all of a sudden, they got 5 or 6, 7 points on the board just like that. You know, you talk about Howard, you talk about Kennard, and one of the reasons they're such good players, Deion, and we talked about this in the past, is that they make everybody around them better.
Absolutely. That's how you can tell a player's greatness. What do they do to make other players better? That's what they're going to have to do right there.
Well, that time Jamie tried to force that one up into the trees, and probably not a good solution, but Start will get it back.
No, I like the way Coach May has coached this. I mean, they're keeping their hands straight up. They're not being, greedy or anything, trying to get the blocks. They're holding their hands straight up.
Sharon Sweeney, the freshman, has played very well for Bob Brown all year. Obviously, she's more like a sophomore now at this time of the year.
You know, the adjective I use is fearless.
That one's going to go on Shanice McNeil, trying to body up on Asia Bishop, and the crowd continuing to file in here at the Hive at Perrysburg.
Hey, Bill, let me tell you something. I was driving from when I was getting up here off of 23. It was ridiculous. This place is going to be really packed.
Well, everybody around Northwest Ohio, they like good high school basketball, and this is amazing. There's Asia Bishop, but can't get the roll. And Natasha Howard trying to start the fast break herself, knocked it off her own foot.
But I'm noticing something. Howard gets the rebound. I know Start, they're turning their backs and going right back, but nobody's picking her up, even on that possession. Somebody has to pick her up.
Well, this is a tough matchup right here. Kennard against Jackson. Two of the tougher kids you'll see in a City League game. There's Bishop, little out of control there, and here comes Howard. Well, Kennard tried to stop her, nobody could, and Howard to the window. One left, one right again. 6 points for the All-Stater, and it's 10-2 in favor of the Waite Lady Indians. Kennard trying to come back quick. And Courtney Jackson with some good defense puts Kennard on the floor and the ball out of bounds.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we talked about, I was going to say, just picking her up out of the crowd.
Brooke Hunt went all the way into the student section, right where the Perrysburg Lady Yellow Jackets are sitting, and Natasha Howard just kind of bodied her up and brought her back onto the playing floor. Nice move, Jackson to the window. A little tough, can't get it to go. And another run out for the Indians. Jackson to the window. And here's Kennard coming back.
Wow.
It's a two-pointer, and she'll knock it down. Her foot was on the line. A two-pointer from Alika Kennard, averaging 15 a game, and it's a 10-4 lead for the White Lady Indians.
Good,
buddy.
That's a tough shot. I don't think people know how hard it is to run full speed and pull up from almost a three.
There's another steal. Quick hands by Kennard. She's got to beat Jackson. Blows the bunny, but there's Jackson on the other side. Weak rebound comes down, and Howard. Watch this, folks. One lady fast break. That's a travel. One extra step right there, and I think Natasha knew it.
Yeah, that's why.
Good defense
smiling.
right there for Start.
That's real good defense right there by Start. But the issue was there was only one person back. That's the issue I'm sure Coach Brown is going to have with that. So you have to swing the basketball really quick. Don't pick your dribble up in those zones.
Bishop going right at Howard, and again another rebound for Natasha, and again another run out for Natasha. This time she can't convert. Now Start's got numbers.
Got numbers.
Sweeney around McNeil, and she'll get it to go. The freshman, the guts of a burglar. 10 points a game. She gets her first two tonight, and it's a 4-point Waite lead.
Yeah, she's fearless. She is not. You talk about somebody that comes out with an intense attitude. I can't tell she's a freshman. She plays with so much heart and intensity.
Well, Natasha Howard fires for three. McNeil, nice rebound inside. She'll stick it up, can't convert. The Indians are getting some looks. Now we'll see if Start can convert. They're down by 4. It was a 10-2 lead at one point.
And one of the things we just saw in that play, McNeil really bodied Bishop out for position. I like to see Bishop just get a little bit tougher. They should probably go inside to Bishop now that she has McNeil on her. You got to do something to get these Waite post players in trouble defensively. They're not deep in the post.
Jackson takes it right at Howard. I don't know whether it's going to be Howard or it's going to be on Haynes. I believe they're going to get Natasha on that one. Well, that's a tough call. Yep, it will go on Howard, her first.
Take a look at that, Bill. Looks like a jump ball to me.
Well, I think she brought her hand down. You know, Dion, if you bring your hand down,
you're right.
They're probably going to call it. I think if she goes straight up, she gets the block. Jamie Jackson misses the first free throw. Jackson comes in averaging 11.5 a game, 3.5 assists, a 67% free throw shooter. In the city championship game, she had 13 points.
Well, back to my point. If you can somehow get Waite's post players in trouble, they're not very deep in the post, you know, so I would continue to attack with Bishop.
Jackson settles in, sends it to the rim, and gets it to go.
They brought Evans into the game.
Yep.
I mean,
Cedra Evans.
Now she's a sophomore and she's 6'4". She's definitely a project, but she's gotten better each game.
McNeil thought about going to Howard, but then thought better of it. This is Fantasia Combs will run things for Manny Mays now. Crowd thought of a double dribble, so did my partner, and again, there's a steal. And Sweeney thought about a triple, now stutter steps, goes into the trees, lays it up and lays it in.
She's fun to watch. Well, she's fun to watch or what?
4 points for the freshman, and it's a 10-9 lead, and Malika Kennard gets the foul. Bob Brown not happy with that. No reason to foul her that far away from the basket.
No, not 40 feet. I just saw Coach Brown. He displayed that 40-inch vertical right there. But he's done a good job over there. I mean,
Haynes, tough jumper on the baseline. And there's Sweeney and Howard going toe-to-toe with about a 1.5 foot difference. And Sweeney, as you mentioned, she's got the guts of a burglar. Dion right in there amongst the trees and gets the tie-up, and Stark gets the basketball.
I was going to tell you, that's what I didn't see the first game against Waite. I didn't see them going after those loose balls and trying to tie the balls up. These girls from Stark aren't scared.
What a move by Sweeney there. Pops it off, lays it up, lays it in. That's Cedra.
Oh, wow.
Evans gets the bucket, and what a dime dropped on her by Sharon Sweeney.
You can't miss that. I mean, that's two nice handles right there. You can't miss the.
Howard to the window, rolls off, going after her own rebound. Blackman gets the rebound and a foul on McNeil. Well, I tell you, I've seen a lot more aggressiveness in Stark tonight than I did in the first two meetings.
Let's watch this breakdown right here. Spin move. This is nice playground basketball right here, Bill. No look. You can't miss this. There's no way.
Wait, she did it just at the right time. She knew just when to drop the dime, held it long enough to make sure that the defense came to her. And you're right, Evans could not have missed that layup.
You know, nice hand right there by Evans, though.
McNeil will leave with 2 fouls.
I'm telling you, they're a different ball team without McNeil in the game.
Tiffany Watts in the ball game to replace her. Here's Blackman. Can't get that one to go. Crowd wanted a foul both ways. No whistle blown.
Oh,
there's the double dribble. Well, if you could do that all the time, you and I'd still be playing.
You know, I tell you what, though, I'm impressed so far with how Stark is starting off. Now, what's going to have to happen, though, honestly, we haven't heard much from Howard. The All-Americans going to have to touch the basketball pretty much every time now.
Well, if you have Howard touch the basketball, it also keeps your defense honest, too.
Yes.
Jackson, nice pass down low. Evans converts.
I'll tell you what, it's bonus buckets. When you get Evans going like that, where she just can catch and go right to the basket.
Transfer from Florida, and she has made her presence felt. Nice spin move in the paint by Haynes, and she'll stick it up and stick it in.
I'll tell you what, here's the human press breaker right here.
Start with their first lead of the ball game on that last bucket. Long pass, you can't do that, and here comes Jackson. She's got to beat Sweeney. She'll lay it up and lay it in. Courtney Jackson with her first 2.
And what Jackson should have did, Bill, she just reached her arms out and kind of Frankenstein, as I like to call it. She's got to take her body to the basketball, and she draws a foul on that. Nonetheless, beautiful steal right there by Jackson on the other.
Yeah, Bob Brown signaling one shot, partner. Coming up to 18 seconds and running, and they'll put the ball in the Ohio State Buckeyes verbal committee. Malika Kennard.
Well, this so far, this first quarter is living up to the billing.
We got a tie-up with 1.3 seconds to go. And the tough part about this is Waite gets the basketball with 1.3 seconds, but Stark's going to get it to start the second quarter because of that.
Just about to say, but you can't tell your team not to hustle, but you're right about that, you know. But then again, you're setting the tone, though. I mean, hey, you're going after the basketball.
They're not looking at the clock.
Right. Yeah.
They're not looking at the clock. 14-13, 1.3 to go in the first quarter. Jasmine Hamden into the ball game. Half-court shot by Brooke Hunt's not going to go, and we have played 1 quarter of basketball in this district championship game. Natasha Howard trying to carry the Waite Indians into the regional, but Sharon Sweeney will have something to say as she's running the show for Bob Brown. And Courtney Jackson, the enforcer, with some quick hands, adds 2 more for the Waite Indians, and after 1, the Indians lead it over the Spartans 14-13. We're back after this on BCSN. Well, 8 minutes in the book so far in this district championship with Deion Thompson. I'm Bill Clark at the Hive in Perrysburg. And congratulations to the Lady Jackets, 38-27 winners earlier today against Marion Harding. They punched their ticket to the regional. They'll play in the second game on Tuesday night down in Norwalk. Our winner here will take on Lorraine Southview in the first game on Tuesday night.
I tell you what, Bill, Stark should probably try to go to Evans. You got to try to get Howard in some sort of foul trouble.
Now Kia McCarver gets called for traveling with the basketball. We'll try to set the lineups for you real quick. Sharon Sweeney coming right back into the ball game, and I believe she's going to get Miss McCarver. She will. Also on the floor for the Start Spartans is Jamie Williams, Cedra Evans, as we said, still in the ball game, Malika Kennard, and Jamie Jackson. Here's Brooke Hunt back in. Fantasia Combs with the basketball, Courtney Jackson, Mariah Haynes, and Natasha Howard. Here's a triple try. Nobody gets Jackson, and she's going to pick up the foul. Jackson fired that 3 and followed it immediately, and then picked up a foul on the right.
Yeah, you don't want to compound the error right now. And Jackson's a valuable piece to Waite as well.
That's the 16th foul on the Waite Lady Indians, and we just started the second quarter. Start right now with only 3 transgressions.
I'm going to tell you what, Cedra Evans had a fine. She's having a nice night tonight.
Well, we talked about it too, Deion. At this point of the season, if you're a sophomore, you're playing like a junior. If you're a freshman, you're playing like a sophomore.
That's a dangerous pass right there by Sweeney. And Haynes came up. I believe Haynes picked up the foul. She's not happy with the call.
That will be her second. So Haynes has got 2, McNeil has got 2. And that will also be the 7th team foul against the Waite Lady Indians. So Start's going to toe the stripe for the last 7:19 of this first half. Well, two really different ball games when these two teams met earlier this year. For bragging rights, the first game of the season, that was the regular season matchup, a 20-point blowout, which surprised a lot of people. Waite won that one. But then in the city championship, what was the big difference in that game? It ended up being just a 1-point game, a win for Waite.
I think Coach Brown made some adjustments in terms of start. To me, they just didn't look scared. I mean, the first game, I must say it, they really looked like they were nervous and they were scared and gun shy. But the second time they played them, they said, okay, hey, we are Start, we can win this game. That was the difference. And this young lady did a good job just playing good defense at the line right there.
Well, she gets 2 free throws right there. And Start goes back on top, 15-14.
You're gonna have to get Hunt going as well, too.
Start really trying to force Waite out farther than they'd like to start their offense.
Yeah. You know, if you're Waite, Bill, what do? All you do is, if they're so aggressive, you start going back door.
Carry on Brooke Hunt, put it on her hip. Another turnover for the Waite Lady Indians. So Start will try to increase their biggest lead of the night. They've got a 1-point lead. The second time tonight they've had a 1-point advantage. They also led it at 13-12, but it's been Waite pretty much since then. But this game is shaping up to be much more like round 2 than round 1, Dion.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, familiarity breeds kind of confidence. So if you've trained or went against somebody a couple of times, you know all the tendencies. It's just basketball.
Jackson for 3. Howard with another rebound. By my count, that's her 6th rebound of the night.
And this is where she's dangerous in that open court. The good defense by Blackman.
They bounced it off Tiffany's foot. We talked about how Natasha tries to keep everybody in the ball game, and I think that's important tonight. She's going to want to take over, but she really needs to keep everybody else involved.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what happens is when she gets the ball, she attracts a lot of attention, and she makes it easier for everybody else.
Tiffany Watts has it stuck back in her face by Evans. Ball on the floor. We've got a whistle, and the Arrows keep it right at that end of the floor. I've asked all my partners whether I've done a game on the radio or whether I've done a game on television. You like that alternate possession rule, or you'd like to see him jump it up?
I like the jump ball, and here's why. Because you don't want to. I mean, you want a chance. If you make a hard play, you know what I'm saying? You want some type of chance to get the ball back.
Well, you can't let that happen. Natasha Howard on the inbounds pass. She's up to 8 points. And Waite goes back on top, 16-15.
They knew that one person wouldn't be able to stop me. So they had to put like 2 to 3, 4 people, like maybe the whole squad on me. But at the end of the day, like I kicked it out to certain people that I know they can also knock down big shots and stuff. But at the end of the day, when it's time for me to show up, I showed up. Like my first step is so fast. Like, so when I got the ball, like I didn't hesitate. Like I already knew what the move I was going to make before I even got the ball. So like that was that's how I broke down Start, how they were defending me. That's how I broke them down by just knowing what I was going to do before I even got the ball. Like I said.
Rebound, Blackman up and in. Good offensive rebounding by the Start Lady Spartans, and they go back on top, 17-16.
But that's why you attack the interior. Right now, Howard cannot afford to foul. So if you throw it whoever's guarding her, that's almost like 2 points.
Howard's foul line jumper goes awry, and again, Cedra Evans with a big rebound. She has given Bob Brown some good minutes, and Malika Kennard gets a carry. Bob Brown thought maybe she was helped into that turnover. As McNeil is up off the bench, she'll come back in.
Hang on, yeah. Well, you know, right now, it's kind of hard to even hold the ball up because Start's extending this defense. But like I said, they need to run somebody to the high post and start getting some backdoor action.
Brooke Hunt right around everybody, can't get it to go, and here's Sweeney with another rebound. Look at that moving goal! Sharon Sweeney!
Wow.
Well, somebody needs to pick up some athletic support for her right there because she left them in the dust. Sharon Sweeney, and then she picks the pocket of Brooke Hunt. Look at the poise of the freshman. Doesn't have the numbers. Kicks it to Kennard. Triple. Rims out no good. But there's Evans back up and in. A 4-point run for the Start Spartans. Their biggest lead of the night. They lead it by 5 with 3.5 to go in the first half.
Well, you know, this project great to get the timeout too. I watched Coach Cullip. She's in the house, by the way, from UT. She looked at, she just started smiling on that move. And trust me, that's a good basketball move, whether you're watching boys, girls, or anybody.
Jackson forcing the action, and the ball's going out of bounds off of the Waite Lady Indians.
And this does so much gets out of her, you can afford the rest of Bishop.
Well, Evans is just a sophomore. Bishop is just a junior. So Bob Brown will have them both back next year. Triple try, Kennard from NBA range. And Howard up with another rebound.
Might stand and try to take the charge.
Gets her own rebound and pulls up the foul from Cedra Evans. This is probably the weakest part of Natasha's game. She's got 9 points, but from the free throw line, she's in the mid-60s. Of course, she's going to be playing in the McDonald's All-American game at the end of the month in Columbus, and she's a finalist for the Morgan Wooten Player of the Year Award on the girls' side. Goes 2 for 2 on that trip. She's in double figures with 10.
That's national award right there. So.
It sure is. And you got to believe that if she's not in the top 1 or 2 of Miss Basketball for Ohio, she ought to win it. At least people around here think that's the case.
Well, I think she's proven it. I think last year she had a bit of a down year for her standards.
Yep.
But this year she really picked it up.
This is Sweeney. She can knock it down from the outside. Steps inside the three-point arc, and Sweeney's got 8 to lead the way for the Stark Spartans. And the 10-point that Natasha Howard has is high for the Lady Indians.
That's another example of why height can sometimes be overrated. Smallest young lady on the court, she plays with the biggest heart at times.
1:55 to go in the first half. Here's Fantasia Combs for 3. Boom! She'll ring the long distance bell. Fantasia Combs.
That was a key bucket right there by Combs. I mean, it couldn't have come at a more timely fashion than that.
Tiffany Blackman to answer, and she does for the Stark Spartans. She's got 6. 25-21 in favor of the green and gold. Fantasia Combs 2 for 2 from there, no. And Hayes gets called for traveling with the basketball.
See how I go over to her, tell her, hey, think now, relax. We're in no hurry. I tell you what, this is the first time that I've seen that actually the Waite Indians kind of on their heels all season long. I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see the adjustment that Coach May makes in at halftime. It looks like Coach Brown is going to be content to go down or go up at least 4, maybe 6 or 7, depending on this last possession.
You know, we talked about the X Factor partner early in the broadcast, and right now you've got to think that Cedra Evans is the X Factor for Start. They did not expect this kind of game out of her, but she has been a godsend inside for the Spartans.
Exactly. I mean, you know, Bill, as a coach, and you've been there before, you do scouting reports, you know, and I'm sure you talk about her, but nobody probably thought she was going to have the game she's having tonight. She's playing, and this is such a confidence builder for her for the next couple years.
Twenty seconds and running. 15. Stay with us at halftime. We'll talk to the Perrysburg Yellow Jacket head coach Todd Sims. Their team already in the regional semis next week, as they were a 38-27 winner over Marion Harding. 2 seconds to go. Blackman's going to get it off. At the buzzer, it won't go, and we have played one half of basketball in this district championship game. Round 3 between the Start Lady Spartans and the Waite Indians. Natasha Howard doing what she can for the Waite Lady Indians. Tiffany Blackman big inside for the Start Spartans, and also getting some help from some other people. Fantasia Combs ringing the long distance bell, but how about Sharon Sweeney doing a great job as well, spinning to the window, sticking it up and sticking it in, and the Start Spartans go to recess with a 25-21 lead over Waite. We're back with more of our halftime after this on BCSN. Well, we're ready to go. 16 minutes of basketball to determine who is going to head down to Norwalk on Tuesday night and play in the regional semifinal against Lorraine Southview. Many people say that the winner of this game, along with Perrysburg, have a pretty good chance of meeting Saturday in the regional championship. But first things first, somebody's got to come out of here with a win. And right now, Stark comes to work with the basketball and a 4-point advantage after the first 16 minutes.
Well, I like the adjustment. This is a very good defense right here for Waite when they bring Howard at the top.
Look at Sweeney, takes the shot, follows it up, gets a rebound. Here's Kennard for three, boom! Malika Kennard rings the long distance bell for the 26th time this year, and this is the biggest lead of the ball game for the Spartans at 28-21.
I was impressed with Jackson finding her teammate. That's a team that's played together a long time.
There you go, a force down low, and McNeil tosses it away. Waite's biggest lead partner was 8 at 10-2 very early.
You're right, but I like this defense, right? Waite's real tough when they bring Howard here with those long arms. He can't be tempted.
And this time Waite's going to get the basketball, and when you talk about those arms, and that's what that I guess you would say, even though we'd like to think of Sharon as a sophomore, that was a freshman mistake right there. You can't dribble into Natasha Howard.
Well, you can't dribble into that trap area. But now, okay, Bill, now we talked about how we do like the jump ball rule, but I think at that point, it would have been between Howard and Sweeney. I don't think it would have mattered too much.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The possession arrow was right this time.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I think when you get tied up, you have an alternate possession. You only get a 50-50 shot of getting the ball back after playing good defenses. Haynes goes glass to knock it down.
Yeah, but the thing about it, I mean, that's a strategy that used to be employed by coaches. I mean, hey, let's tie the ball up. It gives us an opportunity.
28-23, and there's good hands by Brooke Hunt.
Bishop has to come and meet that pass.
Yeah, Stark cannot get careless because Waite's got a quick strike offense. Speaking of quick, Miss Sweeney a little too quick that time.
Don't be surprised if you see Coach Brown call a timeout if they don't score or something like that happens again at this end.
Big defensive possession right here for Stark. Waite trying to get some of the momentum back that they lost in the first half. Good hands right there by Jackson to break it up as McNeil was going to the rack. Good crowd on hand, as we said. Everybody around Northwest Ohio looking forward to a good basketball game, and we got two good teams here. Number 6 in the state, Waite. Number 7 in the state, Stark. I don't think you can, you have to go back a long way, if ever, to see two Toledo City League teams in the top 10 as Howard steals the rebound, can't convert. McNeil will try, and she does. Well, the Stark faithful not happy with that. McNeil with her first bucket of the ball game.
Well, once again, see what happens when they score. It gives them an opportunity to get into this press that they like to get into.
That time, Brooke Hunt's going to pick up the foul, and Brooke got hurt, I think. She is writhing on the sideline. I think she might have fell awkwardly. I don't know if that's a stinger on her shoulder. We won't speculate, but I'm sure our guys have that on tape as the training staff quickly comes out.
But she's tough, though. I mean, I'm pretty sure this game is important. I think she got the wind knocked out of her, actually, because I'm seeing her point to the trainer saying, just hang on a second. I think she just got the wind knocked out of her.
Well, we've seen her do that so often, is she'll trap the person on the sideline and pretty much have herself get run over, and that's exactly what happened there. And I think you're right, partner. I think she might have just caught, she might have just caught one in the abdomen a little bit.
What? Oh yeah, the wind
right
got
there.
she got hit right there in the in that area.
So she'll catch her breath. She'll have to leave because she was the reason for the timeout or the stoppage in play, but she's being attended to. But she's a gamer. I got a feeling we're going to see her before this game is over with. A 3-point lead for Stark.
Tell you what, when they get a chance to extend this different defense, Stark has to keep attacking it.
Nice play by Howard. Here's Bishop with the block shot, but she'll stick it up and stick it in. Bishop with her first 2 of the ball game.
Once again, that's the luxury right there, and a lot of times that's good motivation. You know, A's just watching Evans get busy. She wants to get out there too.
Good hands by Blackman right there, and she goes right into the face of Natasha Howard after she slaps that one away.
I tell you what, Blackman is that enforcer, and you know she's all academic, so she's smart. She knows how to get into the psychology. I'm pretty sure of Natasha. She's guarded her enough.
Yeah, that's something else we should probably mention. Maybe some of the fans watching us tonight don't realize that these girls know each other pretty well outside of basketball. As Jackson steps on the end line, oh, they're going to say a foul. I thought at first they were just going to say she stepped on the end line.
Yeah, and back to what you were saying, these girls do know each other really well. You know, you have a theory. You have a theory you always talk about that, you know, if it really doesn't create any advantage, you don't like that call. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I just, you know, Mike Mernon used to work with me a lot on radio before he moved out of town, and obviously played at UT, played at Central Catholic, and he always said, you know, in a close game, if you don't get an advantage, then have the officials should swallow that whistle.
Yeah, I agree with you, because at this stage in the game, when you're this far down, you want the players to play.
Well, they have on the board that was Asia Bishop's foul, but I don't think that's correct, and Bob Brown is trying to check that out as well. They haven't changed it on the scoreboard, but it is. I thought that was going to be 23. The foul goes on Jamie Jackson. And for Jamie, that is her second foul. So we've got a 30-second timeout. And a 5-point lead for the visiting Spartans. Well, during the break in the action, hey, we invite you to get interactive and make yourself heard on BCSN's Rant and Rage. Join Frank Corso and Tom Cole every Thursday at 6 for an hour of sports stories important to the Northwest Ohio sports fan. Rant and Rage is the only show where the viewer gets to join in the conversation, and remember, it's only on BCSN. Back to action we go here at the Hive in Perrysburg. Aims to the window, and this time, another whistle coming up in a two-shot trip. This one might be on Asia Bishop. Yep, it's going to go on number 50, and for Asia, that will be her second. I beg your pardon, her third. We talked about her in the open, not in the open, but in the pregame portion of our broadcast, how you thought she needed to come up big, and she's struggling right now. But, you know, luckily for start, they got Cedra Evans, and I got to believe we're going to see her relatively quickly if this keeps up.
Well, you know, I mean, that's the thing. When I've watched Asia, she's a very talented basketball player. Somebody will be lucky to get her at the next level. But one of the things she's going to have to work on is her consistency. She's going to have to be just more of a dominating presence. And she's shown that.
Haynes 2 for 2 from the line. She's into double figures with 10, tying Natasha Howard for team high scoring honors. And as predicted, Cedra Evans into the ball game. Had a great first half with 6 points and some big rebounds for Bob Brown. Start breaks the press relatively easily on that trip, and then Kennard throws it away. Jackson with those quick hands. Might have gotten away with a walk. Haynes to the window. Haynes scores.
They're dangerous when they can set up in this press right here.
Here's Sweeney coming right back up high. Doesn't get the roll, but she'll go to the line for 2 shots. Well, I tell you, with either one of these teams, Coach, you can't rest after a basket. You have got to get back and find the basketball.
Yeah, you do, and that's a nice play by Sweeney, but, you know, goes back to your point, Bill. When somebody's attacking the rim, and Waite was doing such a good job of it the first quarter, just going straight up. Now they're swiping down. You have to stay composed. I mean, trust me, these girls feel the pressure. There's a lot riding on it. I mean, we talk about the rivalry, the city championship, but this is the prize.
Oh, absolutely. We mentioned it in the open. Every time they've played, the prize has gotten bigger. Bragging rights in game 1, city championship in game 2, and now a regional berth in game 3 as Sweeney comes up short twice. Haynes for 3. McNeil all by herself on the weak side, taking the sophomore to school, and she's going to get called for traveling with a basketball. Good defense right there. A lot of times you'll get a young player who gets in that situation and wants to get off her feet. That time Cedra Evans planted herself and caused the travel.
Well, one of the things about Evans, she's so raw right now with just ability. So, and as a coach, you want a person like that because now you can teach her everything she needs to know. She doesn't come with any bad habits.
McNeil out, Fantasia Combs in, so the Waite Lady Indians getting a little quicker and shorter.
Well, you know what though, but you can't float passes. But you talked about that actually the first half. You have to be real solid and decisive in your decision making against this trap.
Well, starts lead at 1 point in this quarter. This could be gone after Fantasia Combs with the steal, lays it up and lays it in. And the Waite Indians take the lead back at 31-30. I was saying it was a 28-21 lead early in this quarter for start, and Sweeney trying to come back, and there's Jackson with a steal. Hunt up in front. Haynes to the window. Haynes scores again, and this is that quick strike offense we talked about.
They got to get a timeout, Bill. At some point, they're going to have to get a timeout to adjust to this press. Because you talked about it, like that's the thing, and they're floating passes.
There's a 10-second call right there. That is an unforced error. It starts taking way too much time, and right now Waite is on a 12-2 run since it was 28-21 as we started the third quarter.
Well, the momentum has clearly shifted to this capacity-filled arena for the Waite Indians. And that's the thing, when you talk about Waite, they just hit you in strikes and throws. You got to call timeout to slow them up.
Haynes tries the triple, comes up wanting, and here's Sweeney. Nice shot right there. Give the bucket to junior Jamie Williams, her first bucket of the ballgame, and she draws the foul, and the foul is going on Natasha Howard, and that will be 3 on the All-American.
You know what? And that's what they have to do. That was created by Malika Kennard's penetration. But, you know, when you have a player like that on the floor, I'm just from the school. You have to attack the player. Give them something to worry about. You know, don't just let them play offense the whole night. Make them play some defense.
Well, Williams gets a three-point play, and we're tied at 33.
Nice
Haynes. Nice move right there. That's one of the toughest shots in basketball, I think, to pull up and hit a 10-footer on the baseline. Yeah. Haynes now with 16 points.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this trap.
And Bob Brown calls the timeout, wanting to make sure he doesn't get another 10-second violation. He wants a 30-second break, and you can tell the coach for Start not very happy with his charges right now. Well, we mentioned before, Tricia Cullop is in the crowd. There you see the head coach for the Western Division champions of the Mid-American Conference, getting ready for their first-round game on Wednesday night in the Mid-American Conference tournament. And obviously, when you see Tricia in a situation like this, you can't ask her who she's looking at. That's a violation of NCAA rules, but you can tell that she's got her eyes on several people playing in this ballgame.
You know what, and it goes back, Bill, and I know I said this earlier, but it goes back to how can you even talk about closing sports for Toledo Public Schools? There's a lot of great talent here that can really help out just the city in general, going to the university, maybe coming back here to work. It works out well to keep public schools open.
Well, and it's not just the sports, it's the band, it's the fine arts programs. Yes. I mean, that's all part of the education experience, and I know you've got to have money to run the system, but I think a lot of people are going to have to think long and hard before they make these kinds of decisions.
Agree with you totally.
There's another steal, and Jackson's going to give it right back as she puts it on her hip. So turnover begets turnover in this particular case with 2:42 to go in the third quarter. We're back where we started when we tipped it off. We're tied at 33.
I'll tell you what, Bill, there's no quit in either team. Both these teams are fighting hard. This is what you want to see. I love covering games like this.
Well, again, Start trying to break the press, and this time they throw it away. Brooke Hunt trying to save it and does to the All-American, Natasha Howard. Look at the ball handling. Weaves through everybody, can't get that one to go, and Mariah Haynes is going to get the foul, and for Haynes, that's her third. So she's got 3, McNeil's got 3, Howard's got 3. Right now, Bishop with 3 for Start, the only one in any kind of trouble.
I was going to say, that brings up a very interesting scenario. Now, if you're Coach May, I mean, this press has been effective, but you may have to, after it's broke, you got to go back in to get into something else, maybe a nice zone.
This time they break the press. Jamie Williams and Sharon Sweeney. 33 all, coming up to 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. What a classic match. I beg your pardon, 35-33.
And that's exactly what Coach May did. I want to go back to the coaching point here. He's using more or less that press, but he's falling back into a 3-2 zone to kind of protect his players. If he can escape maybe this last 2 minutes, you never know. I mean, because right now, like you say, if you're Start, I would keep attacking because you have a lot of people in foul trouble on that Waite Indian sideline.
Well, and you know Natasha Howard is a smart player, but she's also going to want to play as well as she can on the defensive end, which could cause that 4th foul.
Exactly. That's why you have to attack her. Make her make a decision.
Put it in her hands. She does normally make pretty good decisions, but you know, Start gets her with a 4th foul before we get out of the third quarter. That makes the fourth quarter very interesting.
It changes the whole complexion.
There's Brooke Hunt into the trees. And we got a reach-in foul. I believe they're going to get Sharon Sweeney on that one. We'll check it out. Yep, it will go on Sweeney. That's her first.
So, you know, once again, Bill, I'm telling you, the strategy has to be, you know, if you're Waite, I like how they're taking time on their possession. They're attacking the rim. But I think if you're Start, once you break this down, you attack inside. Attack with some dribble penetration. That's going to open up those shots for the Malika Kennards, the Jamie Jacksons. And you try to attack. If Bishop can get it going, she really can be a factor in this game.
Well, she's back into the ball game along with Jamie Jackson as Brooke Hunt gets the first to give the Waite Lady Indians a 3-point lead. And she'll give them a 4-point lead. Hunt with her second point of the ball game. 37-33, coming up to $1:30 to go in the third quarter.
Well, the thing about this defense, though, you have to attack the middle. It's wide open. Now, they may settle for the last shot here.
Sweeney into the window, not settling for anything, doesn't get the bounce, but Asia Bishop gets the putback, and that's her second bucket of the ball game.
And that was my point exactly. You notice Howard cannot afford to foul right there, so she just kept her arms straight up. So if you're Waite, you go to Howard.
37-35. Brooke Hunt got that one off. Ball knocked out of bounds, and they said it went off Bishop. Well, the scoreboard here at the Hive is 2 points slow. Now they finally picked the last 2 points up for Start with some help from the Start faithful.
Yeah, I think Howard should just maybe pull it out. I would go to her.
Here's Hunt with an NBA triple. And it's going to go off the hands of Tiffany Watts.
Well, you know, I'm looking at Coach Manny May. He's like, listen, we could get that shot anytime. There's 40 seconds left. We could have maybe worked some clock down and we could get that shot at a later time.
That's the key. When you said they can get the shot anytime, you know, a 30-footer, they're going to give you that all night.
Right.
So there's no rush.
Right.
You're right.
Anytime.
When you got an All-American in that painted area, there's no reason to throw up a 30-footer. Now Bob Brown having a question at the scores table, wants to make sure that they've got the score right, and they do.
Think about this though, Bill, because for some odd reason, say you know, you shoot that shot and it's a marginal rebound, and Natasha picks up a fourth foul, then you know it's a whole other set of problems to deal with.
30 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it looks like the Start Spartans are very content to try to tie this game up. They trail by 2.
I like what Coach Brown is doing right here. The theory is we're either going to go down 2 or tied or up 1. That's good coaching right there.
There's a three-pointer. Kennard off the front of the rim, no good. Sweeney, she'll throw it up. There's Jamie Williams, has it blocked by Howard. And that is the end of the third quarter. A very productive third quarter for the Waite Lady Indians as they try to get 3 in a row over the Start Spartans. A 16-10 third stanza. Good hands, good drives, and good buckets for the Waite Lady Indians. Fantasia Combs, Mariah Haynes and company, giving the Waite Lady Indians a 2-point lead with 8 minutes to play in this district championship. Come on back. We've got more basketball after this on BCSN. Well, fasten your seatbelts, everybody. 8 minutes to go for a berth in the regional on Tuesday night. Start trying to get back there for the second year in a row, and the Waite Lady Indians trying to get back there. They've made a couple trips over the last 6 years under Manny May.
And you know what, Bill? No one is tired on that floor. I mean, I'm telling you, you get in a game like this, you don't even think about anything but winning.
Sweeney comes up short. Howard with another rebound. And that time the Waite Lady Indians going just a little bit too quick to suit Manny May.
That's the thing Coach May is telling them, you know, keep the dribble, relax. We're winning, you know. So I tell you what, this is one of those games, and actually the whole game, every possession has really meant something.
Well, Waite's back in that 1-2-2 zone because Howard and McNeil both have 3 fouls, as does Mariah Haynes. Kennard triple try. Here's Howard. A one-woman fast break, and Kennard trying to pick her pocket. She's going to pick up her second foul.
I like the foul, though. I think that's a good foul because if you don't foul her, that's 2.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, it looked close right there.
Sure did. Sometimes these officials, they anticipate something going to happen, and they blow their whistle when they should wait till the play takes place. Good defense right there for the Lady Spartans. Now we're going to see Fantasia Combs come back into the ball game. Manny May not happy with somebody, and that somebody looks like it's Brooke Hunt. Deion Thompson's here. I'm Bill Clark. Glad to have you on that side of the television. 7:09 to go in this district championship. And a 2-point lead for the number 6 ranked Waite Lady Indians. Well, yeah, where's it? There we go. I was going to say it.
Yeah.
That was about 6 seconds.
Yeah, the thing about it, when you get the ball in there, you have to make a move to the basket, or, you know, if you pass it out, you got to get right out that key. They'll give you a little, they usually give you about 5 seconds, but you got to try to get out the key.
Now you start building the campfire in there, you're going to get whistled. Sweeney tries to jam it down to Asia Bishop, but Natasha Howard with those quick hands comes up with the basketball. Nice jump ball right there. Good hands by Jamie Jackson, and she looks at everybody and goes, hey, no big deal. I do this all the time.
Right, real nice hands. I'll tell you what, though. It's going to come down to, it looks like it's going to come down to the final couple of possessions. Beautiful defense right there by Jackson. Okay, but I want to raise a point. Remember I said what happened, good things happen when you meet the pass? That's a classic example of not Frankenstein in the arms and going with your body to meet the pass. She drew the foul right there.
Third foul on Kennard, so she joins Bishop in the 3-foul category. Played about a minute and a half of this fourth quarter, and no one has dented the scoreboard as of yet.
I'll tell you what, this crowd's on pins and needles both ways. Every possession is just key. Nice move.
Oh, nice move by McNeil, and we've got a foul on the floor. That one, Jamie Jackson tried to tie her up again, and this time with a little look of disbelief. But Jamie's going to pick up the foul. Now she has 3 fouls.
Take a look. I don't know. If you see that again, that looked really
close.
Yeah, it looked close. Let's take a look at this angle. No, she put it up right. It looked like it could have been another jump ball from this angle.
This time McNeil loses the basketball. Start with a 2 can tie, 3 can take the lead back. Start had a 28-21 lead, just getting started in the third quarter, but then the Waite Lady Indians went on that big run. They went on a 12-2 run, outscored Start 16-10 in the third quarter to take a 37-35 lead after 3.
You know, I know I sound like a broken record here, but that's a nice drive. But Bishop is posting up, Natasha Howard. You have to figure out a way, if you're Start, to get the ball. You got to put some pressure on her, because I tell you what, if Howard stays in the game, it could be a long night. Nice defense.
Yep. Bishop up ahead to Jackson. Can she save it? Yes, she does, but unfortunately to Natasha Howard. And here's some cherry picking by McNeil. Tries to get it to Haynes. She blows the bunny, gets her own rebound, and we've got a foul on the floor.
Wow. Well, it's 1-1 right now, the rest of the way out.
Yep.
For the Waite Indians. And if you're Waite, that's who you want at the line. I believe it's Haynes.
Yep. McNeil went there first, and Mariah said, no, this is me. Well, they had a couple point-blank looks. McNeil tried to get it to Haynes. She missed it, got her own rebound. Good aggressive offensive rebounding. We are still looking for our first fourth quarter point. 1-and-1 coming for Haynes, and there it is. Haynes with 17 points to lead all scorers. Natasha Howard had 26 or 21 and 16 the first two times these teams played. Mariah Haynes with only 6 and 8. So you want to talk about an X factor? Look at those numbers right there.
Well, we talked about this at the opening. The thing with Waite, they have so many weapons that they can really get you with on the offensive end. You know, Start is kind of the same way. These teams are actually kind of mirror images, you know, except you have to give Start. They're just a little deeper and a little taller off the bench.
4-point lead coming up to 5:45 to go in this district championship. Glad to have you along on BCSN.
The zone is really giving Start problems. They're almost playing like a boxing one right now. Malika looks like.
Nice play inside right there. Howard with another block, but the alternate possession gives the ball back to Start.
Yeah, that's it. But you know what? See, Asia's, what she has to do, use her body. Take it right into the body.
Kennard for three. Over the back foul on Tiffany Blackman. I don't know, Coach.
Yeah, you know, those I don't know if we take a look at it, but nonetheless, let's take a look. They're going for the basketball. Think about Blackman. She'll be playing at the next level.
Seton Hall, she's going to be a Pirate.
But it's going to be key right now. I mean, you got to hit these. Waite's going to have to hit their foul shots because, like we said before, they're in the bonus the rest of the way out. Now, if you're Start, you got to figure out a way to get there. And in my opinion, the way to get there is to really start attacking that interior. That's what got them the lead when you had Sweeney going to the middle, Jamie Jackson attacking. That's what got them, you know, the lead. They got away from that.
Well, Shanice McNeil, the 6'2 junior, about a 48% free throw shooter, but looked good on that first one. Give the Indians a 5-point cushion, looking to make it 6. And she does. McNeil's got 4 on the night. Waite's biggest lead was early in the ballgame at 10-2. Start's biggest lead was 7 back at 28-21. That's before Waite went on that 12-2 run to take the lead back.
Waite's doing a fine job with that defense.
Sharon Sweeney with a touch foul, her second. And right now the Waite Lady Indians spending an awful lot of time at the charity stripe.
Well, you know, if you understand that's the way the game's being called, at some point as a player, you cannot reach. You have to adjust, maybe try to draw some charges.
Well, Bob Brown wants to talk it over for a moment. Trying to find out if it is a 30 or a full. They're checking with Bob Brown, and everybody's sitting down. It'll be a full timeout with 5:03 to go in the ball game and a 6-point lead for the Waite Lady Indians. We're back with more of the district championship right after this on BCSN.
with a lot of fire. But you have to credit Waite. This zone is really giving Stark some problems. But the way Stark attacked it the first quarter, or the first half, I should say, they were attacking through the high post with Blackman, and they were getting some looks inside.
6-point lead for the city champs, trying to get back to the regional.
See, now they're doing a better job of penetrating and kicking.
Sweeney for three, one-hand rebound for Howard, and she knocks it out of bounds off herself. Well, how about that? Went up with one hand, fended off the defender, and pulled it down and just couldn't control it.
Maybe that's why she should have went up with two on in that case, but you're right, nice play nonetheless.
Here's Bishop to the window, strong, can't get it to go. There's Jackson on the other side, puts it down. Howard causes problems down low. We've got a jump ball, and the alternate possession this time gives the ball back to the homestanding Waite Lady Indians. Well, you bring that ball down below your waist, and it's just feeding the fish.
You know what? You're right about that, Bill. I mean, that is taught from every level. Keep the ball high, and be strong with the basketball when you're inside.
Coming up to 4:20 to go in the ball game. A 6-point lead for the city champs. Howard with a nice spin move and gets it to go. That's her first bucket of the second half. Natasha Howard with a dozen. She had 10 in intermission, and she gives her ball club an 8-point lead. That ties their biggest advantage of the night.
Well, you know what, too, I'm noticing? Start hadn't been able to get any transition buckets, and you would think, you know, with the poor offensive output by both teams this fourth quarter, Start has to get those transition buckets going. Nice move.
Jackson to the window, a little too hard, but there's Bishop on the other side. We got a foul. That's not going to go on Howard, though, folks. If you're a Waite fan, hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, I mean. I believe they're going to get that on. Going to go on Courtney Jackson, and that'll be Courtney's second. Just the 15th foul on Waite, so that'll send Asia to the line for 2 shots. And Asia's a 48% free throw shooter. She had 12 points in the city championship game against the Waite Lady Indians.
And like I said, I watched that game. She had such an awesome first half. I mean, she's a fine basketball player, Bill, but the thing about it, I don't think she realizes that she can dominate. You know, she's a dominant player.
Well, that time she follows her own
Yeah,
shot and
like
ends
that.
up making it a two-point trip anyway for Start. And it's back to a 43-37 lead. And Manny May calls a timeout so Natasha Howard doesn't lose the basketball in the 10-second count. 3:30 to go in the ball game. very good program. Natasha Howard has been very good all night long, and she's got another double-double. Those 12 points, 10 of those have come in the first half. And as we mentioned, she's going to play in the McDonald's All-American game down in Columbus at the end of this month.
It's like it was a boxing match. We were swinging back and forth. We was going back and forth. They was going back and forth. And I think all I remember that I'm like, I think I brought the team in a huddle, this is the last quarter. Loser go home, or winner just go to the next level. And I think that's when I said that my whole team was just behind me, and that's when I think I took over.
Right now, if you're starting, there's no need to panic. 3 minutes and 10 seconds, that's plenty of time. You just have to, you have to more or less take advantage of your possessions. Each one, you got to get something, either a bucket or a foul or a high percentage shot at the least.
Yep, I agree, partner. But what that zone is doing, and you mentioned it, it's really slowing Start's offense down, and they're eating up a lot of clock, trying to get a shot, and you can see some of the frustration on Kennard's face and Blackman's face and Jackson's face when they have to wait so long to get a shot. All of a sudden, they're taking a shot they really shouldn't and plays right into Waite's hands.
Exactly, out of frustration. Like right now, you got to get the ball out quickly through the net. And you got to understand what's at stake here.
1 out of 2 for McNeil. That was the 10th team foul against Start, so Waite's going to be shooting 2 the rest of the way.
See, you're right, Bill. That's a good point. Look how much time it's taking.
Nice move by Jackson. Can't get it to go, and there's McNeil with a weak side rip. And Jamie Jackson's going to get called for a foul, and Bob Brown goes, well, you got to try to tie him up.
Yeah.
But one Jackson fouls another, and Courtney Jackson will take the long walk for a 2-shot trip with 2:50 to go in the ball game, and a 9-point lead for the Waite Lady Indians. This is their biggest advantage of the night.
You know what? I tell you what, when you look at Waite, if they come out to win this game, you have to credit Coach May with this game plan. He figured out a way to slow down this Spartan offense, and typically what he's done, he's had that press. He sprinkled it in, but it was that 3-2 zone.
Courtney Jackson, a 67% free throw shooter. That's her second point of the night. When Waite beat Start earlier this year, 66-46, it snapped a 27-game winning streak that Start had against teams from Northwest Ohio. Their last loss before that was back on the 21st of February to Waite in the district semifinals. So these two teams have a pretty good history over the last 3 or 4 years. And Sharon Sweeney's going to pick up the foul, trying to stop Natasha Howard at the timeline, and things are slowly getting away from the Start Spartans.
Yeah, if you're the Start Spartans, the worst case scenario has just unfolded here. They're in the double bonus. You're 2 away from the bonus. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough climb for them to get back.
Well, and some of the faithful heading to the exits to beat the crowd. There you see Natasha Howard's night, and you said, Coach, when she wears her hair down, one of your minions told you she plays pretty well.
I'm telling you, a fan came in and said, hey, her hair's down. You know what I mean? That means she's going to go off. They're going to win. I was like, I don't know about that, but, it's funny. When they played, maybe some truth to that theory. When they played the second game, her hair was braided.
Yep.
So, I mean, maybe she should keep this look going.
Howard splits the pair. She's up to 13. 12-point cushion for the Waite Lady Indians. They continue to push the envelope defensively and Start trying to find an answer offensively.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. It's taking at least 20 seconds, each time, 20, 25 seconds to get a shot.
Tiffany Blackman got that last bucket, down to a 10-point lead. We're coming up to 2:10 to go in the ball game.
Oh, she traveled right there. They got away with one.
Waite's got plenty of points, so it looks like they're going to kind of take a little air out of the rock.
Well, you know what? If you're going to foul, you might, well, not now. But if you're going to foul, you got to think about fouling now. That strategy, I'd send them to the line because you still have a lot of time left. It's not over yet.
Courtney Jackson says the Waite Lady Indians want a full timeout. We've got 1:59 to go in this one, a 10-point cushion for the city champs. We're back with more after this from Perrysburg on BCSN. Well, a 12-2 run for the Waite Lady Indians when they trailed 28-21 after Malika Kennard played long ball to start the third quarter. That 12-2 run gave the Waite Lady Indians a 33-30 lead. We locked it up again at 33, but since then, it has been all purple and gold.
Well, Waite's tough when they have a lead because they're really good at handling the ball. And as I say that, a turnover is almost created. But they spread you out, and they make you foul.
Brooke Hunt trying to drop the dime on McNeil. She misses one. Back to Howard, and they'll bring it right back out. Minute and a half to go in the ball game. Haynes to the window, short.
See, I don't quite understand that shot right there. There's no need.
Yeah, unless it's a point-blank layup, you got to bring it back out.
Right, there's no need. No. See, I like what Haynes just did right there. Well, with the exception of the near turnover. But
well, I tell you, Start is really getting frustrated because they're getting banged at the other end with no whistle, and then Malika Kennard trying to steal the basketball away from Brooke Hunt, and she gets nailed.
Yeah, that's one of those things. You know, it's just frustration setting in right now for the Lady Sparks. But you know what? If you think about it, though, I know they're upset, but they had a lot of opportunities. I mean, there was a lot of possessions, and we talked about this. It was only like the fourth quarter, 4 free throws for what, the first 4 minutes or something, 5 minutes?
Very close, yep.
So, I mean, you had opportunities.
Brooke Hunt with 5. Coach, if you look at these two ball clubs, you got to believe Start is going to be back. The only major part of their team that's leaving after tonight is Tiffany Blackman. Everybody else is coming back. Yep. And on the Waite side of things, of course, Natasha Howard's going to be gone. Mariah Haynes is going to be gone. Courtney Jackson's going to be gone. Fantasia Combs is going to be gone. So Manny May will have to do a little bit of rebuilding, but you got to believe that Start has a good chance of being right back in this position next year based on who's coming back.
Well, they do. I mean, it's going to take some things, though. I think one of the things it's going to take for Start, their guard play is good, but they're going to have to really figure out a way to get the big girls stronger and really get their confidence up. Because like I said, you know, when I watch Bishop, and I've watched her for years, she is a fine player. See, she reminds me like Storm Stanley. You see the year Storm had this year, his senior year, he realized he could dominate, and that's what Asia can do.
Well, she's going up there, and Natasha Howard has just fouled out of the ball game. That last whistle was on Natasha. I tell you, these officials don't allow anybody to block the basketball. That looked pretty good.
That did look like a good block right there.
That'll give Natasha a chance to get a nice round of applause. Listen to the faithful here from Waite. Natasha Howard leaves with a double-double, 13 points and double rebounds as well. Now Manny May sends her back out because he gets 30 seconds to decide who's coming in, and he's going to use all 30 seconds to do it.
Right, so I mean, at this point, what she's telling them is, hey, guys, do not relax, don't get comfortable. I mean, stranger things have happened, as we've seen over the years in basketball.
I'll stay with us when this one's over. We'll talk to some of the participants, and they'll do some net cutting here at Perrysburg. Unless Start rallies big in the last 54 seconds, the Waite Lady Indians will be heading back down to Norwalk on Tuesday night to take on Lorraine Southview in the first of a doubleheader in the regional semifinal. The second game will pit the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets against Brecksville Broadview, who beat Rocky River earlier tonight. And according to a lot of people we spoke to tonight, involved with both Waite and Start and other coaches who are watching here, there's a pretty good chance that it'll be an all Northwest Ohio regional championship game on Saturday for that ticket to Columbus next week. As Bishop splits the pair.
It just goes to show the level of talent that's in Northwest Ohio.
And Courtney Jackson wisely holds on to the basketball and burns another timeout rather than throw it away. It's a 10-point lead for the Waite Lady Indians and a full timeout called by the Waite Lady Indians. Deion Thompson's here. I'm Bill Clark, and up until that 12-2 run, Deion, after it was 28-21 in favor of Start to start the third quarter, we had ourselves a pretty good ball game, but then all of a sudden Waite just kind of kicked it into another gear, and as you said, they came out with that zone. Manny May nixed that up very well, and from the chance of putting it in and taking it out, it really kept Waite off guard.
Yeah, it kept them off balance. Very difficult, and it's like you said, though, what it did was ultimately it slowed the game down. You know, I mean, Start, they're used to that frenetic pace running the basketball. getting those leak outs, and we saw Sweeney in the first quarter, but, you know, hey, it worked out well for Waite.
Hey, Friday nights just got more exciting. You can join Dan Cummins, Tom Cole, Jordan Strack for the T-Sports Report every Friday at 10:30. Be there for more highlights, more success, and more coverage than anyone else in Toledo. And remember, all the action begins at 10:30. Where else but right here on BCSN. There's Dan Cummins, got an award at halftime for his work with BCSN around the high school scene. We congratulate Daniel.
And I'm going to say, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yep,
you talk about a guy that really loves his job and cares about the kids in the community. Is Dan Cummins.
And Sharon Sweeney's going to bang Brooke Hunt. And for Miss Sweeney, that will be her fourth. We've only lost one person so far to fouls, and it happens to be the All-American, Natasha Howard. But that was at the time where the game was pretty much decided.
I mean, like I say, stranger things have happened. You know, it's important to put teams away. You got to hit these free throws.
Well, until that last buzzer sounds, you know, did Yogi Berra say it ain't over till it's over?
Yeah. Only difference in baseball, there's no time clock.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. You got to get that 27th out. You know, Hunt splits the pair. She's got 6, and it's back to an 11-point lead, and some quick instant offense needed right now for the start Spartans. And Brooke Hunt is not letting Malika Kennard get that look. There's Jackson to the window with a finger roll. Jamie Jackson gets it to go. Only her 4th point, and Bob Brown immediately calls another full timeout. It's 51-42, 37.9 seconds to go. And again, we want to congratulate Todd Sims, our halftime guest, the head coach of the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets. He and his Yellow Jackets are in the regional semifinal next Tuesday. They'll play the second game, and they will play against Brecksville Broadview as Perrysburg beat Marion Harding earlier today. There you see our halftime guest. Todd Sims took over for Mark Schrock just about the time the season started this year, but not a big transition period for the Lady Yellow Jackets because Todd Sims had been Mark Schrock's assistant for 20 years, so a very smooth transition. And if you were with us at halftime, he told me he was kind of surprised. He did not think his team was one of those that could get to the region, but they played great basketball, especially in the Northern Lakes League. Although they didn't win the Northern Lakes League, that went to the Northview Wildcats, but obviously the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets are still playing, and they'll play Tuesday night in the second game of the regional semifinal. Our winner tonight here will take on Lorraine Southview in the first game of that regional semifinal on Tuesday. Asia Bishop knocks that one out of bounds.
It's a 3-possession game, so maybe a Reggie Miller situation can show up. You never know. I mean,
there's another foul on Sharon Sweeney, and Brooke Hunt goes back to the free throw line. And for Sharon Sweeney, that is going to be her 5th foul on the freshman. What an effort she put on tonight. No points in the second half. She'll leave with 8 points, and 2 of the prettiest plays we had in this ball game. Both nice spin moves, one at the timeline and one taking it right at the All-American to get it to go.
Well, you know what, I tell you what, she's got 3 good years, you know, to play. So this has been a good experience because she's going to take away this feeling, and it's going to fuel her workouts in the summer and even, you know, just things in the classroom. So she doesn't want to feel like this, but you hate to see that, but you know it's going to make her a better player in the long run.
Well, Brooke Hunt upset with herself right there as she can salt this one away, but she's leaving the start Spartans on the respirator, but Waite's reaching for the plug. As Hunt splits that pair, she's got 7. 30 seconds to go in the district championship. Boy, they have just shut down Malika Kennard. Here's Tiffany Blackman. And Shanice McNeil with a big rebound. Breakout Mariah Haynes to the window, and that should just about do it. Mariah Haynes with 20 points on the night to lead all scorers. And Asia Bishop quickly comes back, and the Waite Lady Indians are heading on. They call, come on, they call an intentional foul.
The game's over.
Oh, geez, come on. This guy must do JV games.
I mean, the game is over at this point, Bill. Of course the foul's intentional. You know, I mean, let it play out.
Now the foul's going to go on Tiffany Blackman, only her 2nd. That's a moot point at this point. There's Mariah Haynes putting the capper on this one. 20 points on the night for the 5'9" senior. She came in averaging 10.5 points per ball game, and now Manny May is going to get a lot of his bench into the ball game.
Class act as always, Coach May. And you know, I read that article about how he really started off. And a lot of coaches started off that way. And once again, I got to go to this point. You have to credit the administration for staying with this guy, because in this day and age, everybody thinks that, you know, a coach is supposed to come right in and win. Give him some time, work with the players, and let a relationship develop.
Well, he came into pretty much an untenable position. I mean, they were losing games by 100 points, and all of a sudden he came in and kind of molded this team together, or these kids, and got some people to come to Waite that maybe weren't out of the district. Sharice Eulis came in and kind of helped turn things around. Of course, you get into Tasha Howard, you know, that she makes you a very good coach. But you still have to be a good coach.
Well, yeah, you know, that's the thing about coaching. People don't understand. Obviously, you need the players, but at the same time, we've seen coaches with great players that, quite frankly, have screwed it up. So he's figured out a way to get these girls believing in themselves. I know he's a minister, he's a very spiritual guy, but he's a super nice guy. And, you know, and I can say this, Gardner Howard, he always gets on me, you know, in the games about me talking about their strategy. So hopefully he was happy with the broadcast tonight as well.
Well, that's going to do it. The clock is going to run out, and the Waite Indians are district champions for 2009, 2010, and they have a date in Norwalk on Tuesday night against Lorraine Southview.
The Indians used a 12-2 run in the third to cruise to the district title, and they kept cruising all the way to Columbus, where they finished state runners-up. Senior guard Mariah Haynes sparked that third-quarter rally, and she led the way with 20 points. Natasha Howard fouled out of this game with under a minute to play, and the outcome already decided, but not before notching another double-double with 13 points and 16 rebounds. Howard was named Ohio's Miss Basketball and a McDonald's All-American, and she was ranked the #2 prospect in the country before committing to Florida State. She went on to star at Florida State and now is a very successful player in the WNBA, winning 2 championships and being named the 2019 WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. We hope you enjoyed this look back at the 2010 Girls Division I District Finals between Waite and Start. We'll see you next time on BCSN Classics.